those good places, wherever you're checking out the show from. All right. It says, Kevin ain't got nothing on me. I put up 15 sheets of drywall today by myself. You right about that, brother. Transporting the drywall and hanging it is two different, totally ball games right there. So you can have it. You can have it. I'll concede to that one. I'll concede to that one. You got it. You got it. I'm good. I'm tapping out. But anyway, welcome to the show tonight. I hope you guys can hear me. Just in case you can't, please, somebody let me know so I don't just be sitting here wasting my breath. Secondly, if this is your first time joining the show, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. And of course, that's the most important stuff. But we'll get to the other stuff in a second. All right. I'm just going to assume you can hear me. So I'm going to get loose so I can get busy. Yeah. Like real gold drug. Real gold drug. Real gold drug. There's some jeans in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. Now, welcome to the show. It's Friday night. We might as well go ahead and have some fun tonight. And if this, like I said, if this is your first time joining the show, please subscribe. Now, to all those that's been checking out the show, you already know that I got a corner store. All right, you can check out Kevin's Corner Store. Got all kind of merch in it if you like. You can purchase whatever you want. And that number on the screen, 330-974-4607, is, of course, the number you can text MAGA to just in case they want to unexist me on this platform. Then finally, if you would like to support the channel, I have a Cash App and a PayPal below each video. You can, contribute to the channel that way. But you can also just contribute by watching the videos, liking the videos, and so on and so forth. Now, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. I don't know what you got planned for tonight, but might as well spend an hour or maybe hour and a half with me for a quick second. So we can just go ahead and talk about a couple of things. Now, before we get into the title of the show tonight, I want to, of course, talk about a situation that took place on 9/11. Because, Creepy and Kamala decided to act like they were patriotic and go down there to visit and all that stuff. Creepy, I gotta go do something with the 9/11 thing. Gotta do 9/11 like it's some type of annual party or some gala. Gotta do 9/11. It was offensive to one of the families, but nonetheless, that's the Democrat style. And unfortunately, their voters accept that lack of patriotism. And then when they see it demonstrated properly from, say, somebody like Trump, then they call that desecrating the memory of the fallen soldiers. Unlike the ones who look at our watches and stuff during the ceremonies, unlike us who don't even call the Gold Star family members that we had killed. Their family members got killed because of us. We don't want to talk to them. We're not taking calls. No. Unlike us. So let's see who is the real people's champ here. So they all showed up yesterday. And what happened? Biden, Kamala, Trump all visited the same Pennsylvania fire station moments apart. Well, let's see what happened at the ground zero. Okay, let's see. I see something that looks like Creepy meandering in. Okay, there's Mr. Burns, a.k.a. Crying Chuck Schumer. And there's Donald Trump. You know how I knew? It was Donald Trump? See, when the first group came in, it was crickets. I didn't hear nothing. See, if I was blind, if these glasses was just because I was like Stevie Wonder, and I was like, I don't know who actually is attending the ceremony. I would have known immediately when I heard people start saying this. Donald! Well, look at that. I would have never known that Creepy was in the room. I would have never known that Chameleon Harris drug her nasty butt in there. Would have never known it. But for some reason, the people seems to shout, Donald, Donald. Now, why is that? Especially in liberal New York. Could it be because they know that in spite of all the pomp and circumstance, in spite of all of the efforts to paint the Democrat Party as the party for the people, they know that they're really not. They know that they're all about show. They're all about glam and glitter. They know that Trump is really the people's president. He cares about the people. Could it be that? And that's in liberal behind New York. So, man, imagine if this bad boy would have been somewhere like in, Kentucky or Ohio or somewhere like that. In fact, I don't think those creeps would have even come, because they already would have known that the crowd would have been overbearing in cheers for Trump. They don't want a compare and contrast. They don't like to be in the atmosphere like that too many times with Trump, so that people can see a clear distinction between how the public has sentiments towards Trump versus them. They don't want that. They're like, man, we don't want to be around this dude at all, because then people will be able to see that they don't really have a base, a following, people who love them. So with that being said, they then went over to Pennsylvania. All right, let's see what happened there. You see Trump. Thank you. No. Yeah, he's looking at creepy. Okay, some more crickets. Here comes creepy creeping in, dragging in that other Muppet. So here comes the two Muppets. Boy, that's quiet. You can hear a rat pee on cotton. Good grief. You can hear a mouse licking ice. I don't hear nothing, man. Woo, quiet, like they're in church. I ain't talking about a fire-filled church with hand claps. I'm talking about the shh. He took the bread into his hand. A quiet church. Let's see.
A few moments later.
What was this?
There he is.
There he is. That got to hurt if you are Kamala and if you are creepy. Now here she is walking away thinking she won the debate and everybody was going to be celebrating her and talking about, man, maybe she's not as bad as we thought. Maybe she's not as, no, she is. In fact, she's worse. But yet she still cannot earn and win the favor of the people. You know why? Because people can tell who is genuine and who isn't. Yeah, most of the time people can see through a facade. And that's all she's about, creepy's about, the whole Democrat Party. They're all about perception. They're not original. They're not genuine. And people can see that. They can feel it. So Trump shows up. And of course, the people are like, here he comes, elbowing people. Here he comes. Well, look at that.
What did you think to yourself, looking at that image?
How that could possibly happen.
I know. Let's see it again. Here comes creepy. And you know what's funny? He lifted his hands like he was expecting a warm welcome. Like, hey, where's everybody? Hey, I'm here. Creepy's here. And you heard nothing but crickets for creepy. There you go. That's what you deserve.
And it's just so unnecessary. So wrong. Who the hell need? Don't get me going.
Uh-oh, that's creepy. Here's Trump. Creepy. Trump. Creepy. Trump. Trump. Creepy. There you go, you old fart. There you go. So it wasn't a good showing for them. It's not a good idea for them to all be in the same atmosphere as Trump, because it highlights that they are not as popular as they're pretending to be. I don't care how much the media tries to make her seem like the momentum's with her and everybody is celebrating her and all of them want to get on that, I guess, joy train. It's all about joy. It's about a movement. No. It's about reality. It's about knowing that you have somebody who legitimately cares about your pain, your suffering, and the future of the country, unlike those folks. And so now you have Trump coming out and doing something like this.
Also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime.
What?
You know what that means?
I do.
Think of that.
My goodness, what an idea. Why didn't I think of that?
You know why? You know why they didn't think of that? Because the Democrats don't think about what helps the people. They think about what helps their party. That's what they think about. They don't sit back and say, how can I come up with a solution for all of the crime and the fear that people have in their neighborhoods? How can I come up with a solution for all of the harassment and the stuff that's taking place from these illegal immigrants in their area? How can I come up with a solution to bring down inflation? Or can I come up with a gimmick, distract them and make them think that my solution is really helping you out? Stuff like, the companies are putting too little of an amount of your Snickers bar inside your, the wrapper. And we're fighting on your behalf to make sure you get a little extra chocolate in that bar. There you go. The companies out there are price gouging. So we're just going to go ahead and monitor their prices and make sure they can't sell stuff to you above a certain price, and just go ahead and tank the whole economy, dry up all the products. You be wondering, where's all the bread and stuff like that. That's what we're going to do, even though we're really not going to do that. We're saying we're going to do that because it sounds good. Sounds like we're fighting against the system for you guys, not realizing that they are the system. So Trump comes up with this great idea. I'm wondering when Kamala's going to come out next. Now, my new economic policy is no taxes on overtime. I'm wondering when she's going to come out with that.
People who work overtime are among the hardest working citizens in our country. And for too long, no one in Washington has been looking out for them.
Wonderful. That's right, I know that's exactly how she feels. I mean, it's just one thing after another, but maybe if they stop trying to manipulate folks and sit down and, cut it out. Sit down and think about solutions for people, they could come up with creative ideas like that. Maybe if they weren't so interested in trying to suck every nickel out of all of the citizens and make them have less in their pockets so that these corrupt politicians could use all of that tax money for whatever they want to do with it. Studying transgender studies in Pakistan and butterflies on the highway and all of that stuff that they just use our money for, Ukraine. Maybe if they start thinking, how can we trim the fat? How can we not waste money on unnecessary stuff and put the money back into the pockets of the people? Then maybe they could come up with good ideas like this. But see, they're usually thinking of how can we get every dime out of these folks without them really knowing we getting every dime out of them. Sitting there lying to us talking about we'd have hired 82,000 or something new IRS people, but not for you. It's for the billion and trillionaires and stuff. And you won't even be impacted. 82,000 of them? Really? Are there that many billion and trillionaires running around? I don't know. So we already know what they're up to. Wonder how they're going to respond to that new economic policy that was rolled out. Now, let's get to what I was going to talk. I've been meaning to go over these clips for like a week now. And I just, so many things in the news cycle just kept popping up. And I was like, man, now I will say the title of this is You Ain't Got to Be a Christian to Say Amen to what you about to hear come out of this man. OK, however, I'm going to let everybody know if you're not a Christian, he is approaching this from a Christian perspective. And I happen to agree with him because I am a Christian. But he covers some things that every Christian, every pastor need to hear, and every citizen needs to hear. Okay, there's some overlap in what he's talking about. This man is so based in revealing and exposing, what's going on in politics right now. It's beautifully laid out. And see, what I love about what he's doing is he understands that politics is being brought to the front door of the church. I mean, back in the day, you go to the church, you preach, and this and this and that. But now all of a sudden, these politicians and this new cultural movement that's being pushed by politicians is trying to infiltrate the church. So he has to address it so that people don't think that these outside influences don't impact Christianity and the church. So he's addressing it and he's calling it out without straight coming out and saying the Democrats are responsible for this. They're raggedy. He's addressing it in such a beautiful way. And I'm thinking that you guys might have seen or heard little clips from him before that I use. Bishop Wooden. I think he's out of either South Carolina. I think it's South Carolina. But boy, I tell you, man, he is exposing the wokeness. Oh, he's exposing all the identity politics. And all I can say is, hey, to the man. So let's see what he got to say to his church. Let's see if they call him a white, North Carolina. There it is. Let's see if they call him a racist white nationalist. Now, understand, this man spoke out against Kamala Harris. And guess what happened? The FBI showed up. He said they showed up and they were interrogating him like he was a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you don't think that these corrupt, evil, stinking, globalist, Marxist politicians on the Democrat side who are pushing all of this garbage into our system, if you don't think they won't turn the federal government on churches and cross that line between church and state, you're naive. If you're a pastor out there that's saying, well, you know what? I'm going with the current. We got a lot of black folks in the church, and then we got us a woman of color, and we got to support the woman of color. You will support yourself right into persecution. That's what you'll do. See, these folks on the left will only tolerate you as long as you're a watered down church, long as you got a very inclusive message. Yeah, one that don't cut. One that don't make folks have to stop and look at themselves and say, man, I got to take self-inventory. One that allow you to feel fluffy on the inside and the outside. Yeah, they okay with that. But when you start drawing a line in the sand, now all of a sudden you become an extreme church. There you go. They might roll that IRS right on over to you. Make them start asking you, what's this for right here? You spent 7 nickels? 7 nickels, what was that for? I want to see some data. Let me see the receipts on these 7 nickels. Oh, we're going to have to take your 50C31. Yeah, if you think they're not going to start saying that, look, we're going to have to go ahead and send folks, to your church that might want you to perform some, ceremonies that you don't agree with. And they're just going to say, well, we respect your religious beliefs. No. Yeah, you let these Democrats get in power. They'll be talking about that's discrimination, that they're covered under the and shut you down. So he knows that. He senses what's going on and he calls it out. And I love it. Somebody go get my shouting shoes. Somebody go get the drummer. Somebody get the organ. Get the mothers. Let the mothers come out with them soft white shoes on, those nursing shoes, and that nice little thing they wear on their head, and some anointed oil. And let's hear what he's talking about.
There is a style of politics that is the worst kind. And my prayer to you as a pastor is that you not practice that style of politics.
Uh-oh. Now, where is this going? See, because I'm thinking if I'm in the church most of the time, you'll hear, churches avoid subjects like this. Or you'll be going, oh, God, if I'm a conservative, I got a gut feeling this person is going to, of course, attack Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. Now, oddly enough, before Trump came on the scene, so many churches was voting conservatively. But for some reason, because of all of the effort to demonize Trump, I saw so many Christians and pastors and churches lay down their religious beliefs, their biblical principles to vote against Trump because they bought into the TDS. They bought into the narrative that this man was a racist. Racism, basically identity politics, distorts your thinking. And they know it. That's why they use it. They use it because they know it'll make you glitch up. You'll be operating just fine. And then all of a sudden they're bringing racism and it's like, and they will say, well, you know what? I'm going to overlook all the other stuff that the Democrat Party believe in that directly bumps head with my biblical beliefs. I'm going to overlook all of that because I cannot see myself voting for a racist. So now he is calling this mess out.
And that style of politics is called identity politics. What is identity politics? Identity politics is politics or a style of voting or participating in the political process where what is mainly considered about the politician is their gender or sex or race or something like that.
Exactly. Identity politics. Now, so many people don't even realize they're participating in identity politics when they vote. You know, it's the Democrats are not going to come out and say, all right, we believe in identity politics. What it is, it's just built in. They practice it. They don't come out and say we're doing it. They just practice it. And what happens is people don't realize they're being manipulated by it. So what he's doing is calling it out so you can see it. Once you understand the concept of it, how they're applying it, how they're using it, then you can recognize when you are a victim of it. You can also see it when they come out and use it. And they use it. They use it a lot, y'all. They carry identity politics in the back of their pocket constantly. We carry our guns for protection, and they carry identity politics. Yeah, for their protection. What do you mean we got an open border? Are you xenophobic? Oh, I'm sorry. They whip that mess out like, are you xenophobic? Yeah, I thought so. Coming up in here asking me questions about my raggedy policies. Shoot. I thought, excuse me, why aren't y'all doing anything about the crime in the inner city? You know what? All of this oppression that these black folks went through, okay, you got you know what? You have no right to be talking about black folks like that. Understand? You don't understand the plight. You don't understand the plight. Now back up. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I do have a question about the children. Why do children need to be going through transition? What? What? You transphobic? Are you transphobic? Now, I know, I don't even know what transphobic is. I just wonder why the kids have to be, you must be transphobic. That's what it is. Okay. I don't want any trouble. They carry identity politics around like we carry a gun around to protect ourselves from real danger. But real danger to the Democrats and the radical left is truth. When you call that mess out, common sense. That's what it is, shining light on their deceit. So let's continue, because he's schooling his folks, and so many churches don't even know nothing about this. So I give kudos to him that he's even talking about this. Let's continue.
You consider those things ahead of policy. To practice identity politics is, to put it politely, stupid.
I love it. Y'all hear that? Now, do you think the Democrats would like to hear from a preacher like that? You think all of these folks like Kamala Chameleon Harris, if they get in the office, no wonder they sent the FBI down there. Yeah, they don't want church leaders talking about that. You know what they want? They want church leaders to bring Kamala Harris up in the church and let her vomit up whatever. They want churches that'll let dang on Hillary Clinton come up in there talking about, I don't, feels no ways are tired. They want churches that'll let Liz Cheney come up in there, Fat Fanny come up in there. Hey, I just realized that. My sign's falling down. I got to put it back up there. Yeah, they want churches like that that'll let politicians come up there and, promote themselves and their crazy ideas and doctrines. That's what they want. So let's finish hearing, because he done opened up a whole can. I know people in there getting uncomfortable.
It's not wise. I like him because he's a white guy. Or I like her because she's a black girl or Asian girl or whatever. I like this person because they check some kind of identity box.
And that is why Trump had to address the whole situation when he was asked about, are you saying she's a DEI hire? Is that because she's black? I didn't know she was black. I mean, at one person, see, remember, when you flip it back on the Democrats, then they get mad. They want to practice identity politics, but when you call it out or recognize it, then they get mad. Talking about, you're the one bringing up race all the time. Why are you focusing so much on race? Even though we've been asking you these questions constantly. Do you think it's because she's a woman? Do you think it's because she's whatever? They flip that mess back on you. They'll sit back and they'll talk about how great it is that so many people of color are coming to our country and we're becoming a melting pot and we're welcoming and this and this and that. And it's out there, we're watering down all of this whiteness and stuff. As soon as you say, are you guys trying to replace our American voting base? What, are you conspiracy theorists and you're xenophobic? You don't want to be replaced because you want to hang on to your white privilege. They will flip it back on you. These people are very, very crafty when it comes down to manipulation. And that's why you got to understand what they're doing so you can see through it. And that's why I was so disappointed by many churches and Christians who couldn't discern what these people were doing. I used to sit back and say, dude, do you understand what these Democrats are supporting and pushing and voting for? Your discernment meter isn't going off. You're so fixated on Trump's a white nationalist that you don't see they're going after kids. They're promoting women and men in different bathrooms, or the same bathroom, should I say. They're promoting this stuff, man. They got open borders. They got all of these things that are chaotic. And many of them are immoral. And many folks, their radar just got broke as soon as you hit them with the racism. And I'm going, good grief. And it ain't even that the Democrats are okay with abortion. The Democrat Party love it. That's even worse. They're not just like, oh, you know what? I mean, I'm indifferent to abortion, or let's just keep it like it was. These folks make it a extreme part of their platform. They celebrate it, man. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, ringing bells, getting on there, even like testimonies as if they was in church. When I had my second abortion, I was 18. I said I got to go down to Planned Parenthood, where we all gather to worship. And I got my third and fourth there too. And tomorrow I'm having my fifth abortion party. Come on and come on. They testify about this mess. And I'm sitting there like, dude, it ain't even like they're discreet. They're open, throwing it all in your face. And yet, folks, so what, man? Racism, man.
That should be your last consideration, if at all, as a Christian. As a Christian, your first, as a citizen.
Thank you. See, this is my thing. That's why I said you ain't got to be just a Christian to say amen to this. That should be your last consideration. So then, Pastor, what should be your first? Because what he's saying is, even if you're an American citizen with common sense and your own moral base or code, and when I say common sense, I'm talking about the basic test, which is, okay, I got a picture right here of a little baby girl, and I got a picture right here of a little baby boy. All right, which one is which? I can't answer that. What do you mean you can't answer that? I can't answer that, because even though there's an apple stem on that picture right there, that child has to grow up and be able to determine what their gender is. Right there. Right there. You're going, you didn't pass the basic test, man. You ain't passed the basic test. So if you are a citizen that can pass that basic test, then you might have some hope. So here he's saying, hey, as a Christian, but as a citizen, you can't be making decisions based on identity politics.
As an informed citizen, your first consideration. Now, I'm saying first. I'm saying first to be nice. To me, your only consideration should be, what is this person for?
What? So you mean to tell me it ain't because we got the first black gay, press secretary? It's not that. It's not we got the first transgender. It's not that. Got to be kidding me. So then, come on now, break this down a little more, Bishop Wooden.
What are they for? And how does their stated position line up with mine?
There you go. Now you're talking. Which, as we've been seeing, as people hit the streets and start asking Kamala Chameleon Harris voters, why are you voting for Kamala? She's nice. She carries herself nice. It'd be great to have the first black female president, and then that we it's stuff like that. And I'm going, good grief. Gotta have that IQ test. Got to have that voting IQ test. If you can't give me 10 good reasons outside of describing physical attributes of the person, maybe you shouldn't be voting. Outside of their gender, their sex, their, all that stuff. Why are you voting for this person? Can you even mention a policy? Abortion? Oh, boy. Okay, so here we go.
And as a Christian, I won't mind to line up with the Bible.
Perfect answer. So now, I've always told my fellow Christian friends, you got to do some foreshadowing. If these people are sliding in this type of perversity and supporting this type of perversity in our society right now, imagine if they had unabated power. Imagine if all the obstacles and shackles were removed so that they could force all of this stuff down the throats of all Americans, including Christians, and then you got the nerve to be talking about, well, we don't believe that up in here, up in this dirt. You are going to be in for a rude awakening if you think they're going to come up in there talking about, well, most of you guys voted for us and your pastor let us come up in here and speak. However, somebody said they came in here with the 3-year-old who woke up, played with a pink blanket, and now they feel that this 3-year-old is a little girl. And you're not supporting it. You got up on the pulpit and told everybody that that's not a thing. So therefore, can I see you in the back office, Pastor? We need to have a talk. If you think you're going to escape that, you're fooling yourself. These people are rabid when it comes down to pushing these type of perversities into our society. And what's happening is he's saying, look, I didn't come out here trying to talk about politics. Politics tried to invade the church. So now I got to push it back out. I got to make sure I address it, call it out so people could see what's going on. So as a Christian, you walk in the spirit and in the flesh, meaning this. I know that I talk about worldly and natural things as well. And I see what's going on and I use my common sense, my intuition and all stuff. But I also know what is going on spiritually. Why in the world are all of these new ideas and concepts just popping up? Why in the world are all of these politicians trying to legislate certain things? Why in the world are these folks trying to go after kids? That stuff is greater than just, oh, well, it's a couple people that just came up with stupid stuff. And that stuff is demonic. Now I'm going, is there a bigger motivation to what's going on in the spirit realm versus the natural? And I address my audience that way. For Christians, they'll get something out of it. Folks that ain't Christians, they'll get something out of it. But I'm always trying to look at both angles. And when I get to a point where I say, okay, I believe that we're at a point in history and time where God might have said, I've given enough grace to the U.S., enough grace to whatever, and I'm done. All right, at that point, then I move on and say, well, you know what? No need to waste time trying to, we're fighting against whatever. At this point, we got to go ahead and start looking upward. But right now, I think that God is trying to give us more grace. We still have some more time, I believe. And so let's see what he's talking about. Because while we're here, we can't let what's going on just have its way. Can't do that. Got to call that mess out. So let's go ahead and hear what he got to say.
No spirit-filled Christian who is following the Holy Spirit will ever, if you're following the Holy Ghost, take your Christian doctrine and your spiritual beliefs and put them to the side. I have been criticized.
And see, I want to qualify that, okay? Because I'm not talking about this as if I'm a super saint, yo. I'm not doing that. I'm a Christian. But one thing I try to do as a Christian is if I ever, which we all fall short, if we do something, if we got some issue we dealing with, the one thing you don't do is say, well, you know what? This behavior is not applicable to the Bible. You still can't put your Christianity aside, even if it applies to you. The moment you put your Christianity aside is the day that you allow yourself to live reckless with no accountability. So even in my own life, I got to go, man, if I did this or whatever, I can't say, well, Christianity don't apply in this application. That keeps me grounded. I'm able to say, it's wrong. I did it, but it's wrong. I did it. I'm up here like my man Tone sometime, y'all. Y'all don't know who Tone is. Why did I make my Savior cry? Doom, doom, doom. Why did I let him out my life? Doom, doom, doom. I know it's no one's fault but mine. Doom, doom, doom. Oh Lord, please try me one more time. That's what I got to say. Why do I make the same mistakes? So you got to just own it. Can't set your Christianity aside to allow you to have a little special fun. It don't work that way, man. So here he is.
Both in print, the news, and online and everywhere else. People said, the problem with Wooden is he doesn't know how to separate his politics from his Christianity, from his religion. I want to say I pray that will be a problem till the day that I die.
Oh, now this right here is a preacher that's standing in the face of evilness in the last days. Talking about look, man, y'all ain't gonna shame me out of being able to see what's going on. I'm not gonna say, well, this is politics. I believe this one way. That ain't gonna affect this. What goes on in politics will affect how they view and treat the church. Because remember, guys, there's privileges and benefits when it comes down to having a church. And we should be protected under the First Amendment. All those things. But you think these folks care about that stuff? You think the radical left cares about the First, Second Amendment, all those things? No. They're looking at that mess like, man, your religion means nothing to me. The First Amendment means nothing to us. In fact, it's in our way. The Second Amendment is in our way. So we want that mess out. Yeah. So you gotta always consider, who are we voting for and what do they believe?
Because I don't believe you should separate anything from your Christianity.
Or your own moral code if like I said, if you're a common sense American and you just believe in, dude, I don't believe men should be in women's bathrooms or sports and vice versa. I don't believe that men could become women. Ain't got nothing to do with religion. I don't believe that we should have an open border with millions of illegal immigrants running around our country. I don't believe that our politicians should be taking care of them before they're taking care of our veterans and our citizens. I just don't believe that. And if you stand on those principles, just common sense, patriotic, loving your own country principles, these folks on the left will call you all kind of stuff. I tell you, and all of that stuff you believe in is because you want to maintain your white privilege and the patriarchal system and that, this is nothing more. And you're going, it ain't got nothing to do with those things. How do we drift this far? Well, they use these things. They use identity politics because common sense folks who think like I just gave that illustration stand in the way of their agenda. Stand in the way because everybody knows that that's a smart way to think. And they know it. They know that our policies don't make no sense. That's why we got to use identity politics. So instead of telling you, well, the reason we feel the border should be open is because they just say, shut up, you racist.
If you are a Christian, if you're born again, I don't believe that you set aside your Christian beliefs. Now, it is apparent that not every Christian share that belief.
That is
but
true.
I don't know how you can serve the Lord and put him on a shelf when you want to, and then take him off the shelf when you don't. That's what identity politics does.
What?
I do not consider the sex, the race,
You don't?
the color,
No.
or any of that stuff
No.
of anybody running.
Get out
I
of here.
want to know one thing. What are you for? What
What
are your
are
position?
you for? What is your position? Well, somebody go get on that organ. Click, 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 dun, dun. What are you for? What are your positions? Now, how many people go to church and get a nice dose of that type of preaching right there? What are you for? What are your positions? Now, what are we talking about here? I always ask folks that are Christians, tell me, list one of Trump's policies that you would have to say, well, I got to lay down my religion to support Trump for that. They can't. He's racist. That's not a policy. And it's not true. He once said that Charlottesville was that never happened. That never happened. Go ahead, continue. All right, well, he don't believe that. Continue. You know what? Shut up, you white nationalist, fascist, xenophobe, homophobe, sellout, Uncle Tom. That's what it has to come down to. because you don't have to set aside any of your biblical principles to support Trump's policies. That's why they want you to focus on Trump's personality. And he's saying, don't look at none of that. Look at what they believe. What do they support? But yet you go over to Kamala with her acting, and you didn't even. All of that mess, all of the theatrics. Then you look at her policies, like CNN did the other night when they fell and bumped their head and showed that she talked about we shall grant illegal immigrants the ability to have transitions on taxpayers' dollars while they're being detained in America. Oh, you didn't see that because she's talking about racism and stuff? Hey, you all caught up in power to the people because, we're excited about having the first black woman. All of that. Didn't stop to go deep down into her policies. Caught up in the pomp and circumstance. So continue, Bishop.
And I have certain non-negotiables.
What?
Not all of my positions are non-negotiable. Some are negotiable. We can negotiate on raising taxes or lowering taxes. We can negotiate on things like that.
Yeah, because Christians ain't spooky deep. You know what I'm saying? We're not isolated Dave Koresh type folks out in the cut. Nah, man. We're regular folks, just like conservatives. Conservatives aren't deep and spooky and they're white nationalists and Bible toting and we are fun, loving people. Common sense stuff. Yeah, man, we can talk about stuff, but then you get to a point where I go, now, wait a minute. You're going over into an area where I'm going, that's the unknown. Yeah, I can negotiate. Yeah, well, should we raise taxes or lower taxes? I can negotiate a lot of stuff, but what he's saying is, here's some non-negotiables. Somebody said, I love your chat. Thank you. Love all this chat. Yeah, they're wonderful.
But I have non-negotiables.
What's
life for me is a non-negotiable.
Yeah, life is a non-negotiable. Now, isn't that odd? Because like I mentioned earlier, you know where he's going with this. For some reason, the Democrat Party is fascinated with abortion. And notice the thing, though, that they all have in common, that they've all already been born. They've all already been born. See? And they feel that, you know what? We should have a right to do these things. A woman should have a right. They always use that. A woman should have a right to do, and stuff like that, even though they don't care about our rights when it comes down to the shot and all that stuff. But if you flip that back on them and say, well, then if we pass legislation, it will give us a right to take the life of all morons. Okay, all morons who believe in this crap and supports the stupidity that y'all trying to push into our society, then that means we can write that into law. That we can be the arbiters of that. We can decide. Oh, well, no, I got a right to live. Oh, you got a right to live now. Okay. See, now all of a sudden it's non-negotiable. Now all of a sudden, now there's a black and white. There's a right and a wrong. I don't care how many people say, yeah, I agree that we should be able to. Now, when it's coming down to me, my life, then all of a sudden we ain't a democracy. Man. A mob don't rule in this case. So when people start telling you that, oh man, you know what, it's all about, when you say, well, wait a minute, there are some things that are right and wrong regardless of the masses. I don't care how many people. It's a perfect example. You can have every American in the world, every person on the globe, try to convince me that somehow you can become something you're not. You can just transition. You can think in your mind as a man and become a woman. And I will never believe it. They can all be going, dude, you're stupid. Look, everybody's doing it. Everybody knows it's true. The science says, and I'm going, nope. I'm standing on principle. I know what I know. Deep down inside, I saw that apple stem on that little baby. And that means he's a boy. God didn't make him. I will not bend the knee to that mess. And this is why I say there's a demonic influence that is taking place on the globe, in America, and going after the church. Yeah, trying to bully people to where folks start going, well, you know what? I mean, there's a lot of science in this. When you start thinking like that, you're on your way to being compromised mentally and possibly spiritually. When you start going, well, I mean, there's a lot of new information we got. And I'm going, you shouldn't be, this should be immediate. Like, what the heck? That's what it should be. When these type of ideas get thrown out All you got to do is go back and think 20 years ago, if somebody would have threw that out, almost everybody would go, what the heck? It wouldn't even be no, you know what? It wouldn't even be that. It would just be like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Anyway, look, let's finish playing spades. But now it's a debate. Let's continue.
Black folk who do not stand for life, who do not push back against these abortionists.
Ooh, he called them abortionists. That means it's their mission. That's what they do. They love it. They love it.
We're voting against our own self-interest.
And unfortunately, black folks do that often in other minorities. I ain't talking about just with abortion. I mean, look what happened out there in Chicago, Chicago, New York. Americans do that. If you convince enough idiots to vote for these raggedy Democrat politicians, and then their cities fall into a mess, like I just saw a video out in California. There's a guy shutting down one of his stores, and the people are mad. People are mad. Oh, man, come on, man. Don't shut the store. Dude, I'm getting robbed like 12, 13 times a week. Cops can't show up. Criminals are looking at us with the items in the hand saying, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, huh? Huh? You gonna call the cops? Go ahead. Hey, hello? Yeah, 911, I'm calling the cops on myself. I'm in here right now. I got some products in my hand that I'm stealing. You want to talk to the owner? Hold on for a second. Here you go. Out there, we can't get a car out there until tomorrow morning. Just write down on a piece of paper or napkin the description. We'll try to get back with you in 3 weeks. Never mind, it ain't worth it. Just take it, man. Just take it. Just take it. That's what's going on out there. And folks voted for that crap. Yeah, Nasty Pelosi out there in San Francisco. Mad Max, New York, Shite Town, and I'm going, you people are voting against your own interest. So hopefully they'll wake up. So let's continue.
Nothing eliminates African Americans in this country like abortion. What? It is the greatest.
Wait a minute, Bishop. You telling me it ain't white systemically racist cops killing black men every day? You telling me it ain't? You telling me it ain't white supremacists going into the hood, bot out. You telling me it ain't them riding around in Chicago on their horses with their sheets and tiki torches? You telling me it's not that? You even telling me it ain't sugar diabetes? It ain't high to the blood pressure? It ain't heart disease? It's what?
Killer of African Americans. Then the other 5 leading causes of death come
black on black crime?
Cancer, heart attack, high blood pressure, those things. Put them all together. They don't come up to abortion.
And you telling me it ain't even the history of slavery? Because more babies aborted in the black neighborhoods than all the slaves that died in like a 2-3 week time frame? But yet we still got Democrats talking about slavery and the results and the effects of slavery and stuff like that came from our party. There you go. Oh, whoa, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say that the Democrats were supportive of all that. No. It was just all white people back then. It was all white people. But nonetheless, you're telling me that these wonderful little churches that the Democrats call Planned Parenthood that seem to be put in black neighborhoods are responsible for this? Responsible for this? Wonder why they keep putting them in those areas. I just wonder. Bishop, maybe you can enlighten us about that. And boy, I know some people that don't want to hear what he's about to say.
Anybody who is pushing that cannot get my support. Any politician who votes for the Infant Born Alive Maternity Act, they tried to pass a law that if a baby survived the abortion process and the little thing is laying there, that little child
don't say that.
Breathing, somehow it survived.
Don't do it.
And they do. They wanted to pass a law that in doing that, you would have to give the child sustenance.
Wait a minute. We just heard them fact check Trump on this, guys. Didn't we? We just want to step in and say that there's no states out there, even though that woke weirdo state, yeah, they allow that in his state. In Virginia, Ralph Blackface, yeah, that guy, he was cool with it. They had that here. New York, all these places are pushing for this. It was maddening when they saved Kamala the other night, when Trump asked her, yeah, like right now, Ask her, what's too long? What's too late for abortion? You know what? I ain't gonna even entertain that, man. That's crazy. What is he doing? And they are, we gotta move on. Why is it? Why is it that they can't just straight come out and say, this is the limit? They act like this all just came out of all of us conservatives' heads. We never have a point of reference in regards to where this concept came from. There was a lot of people who weren't even paying attention to abortion until they start pushing for 9 months and beyond. And folks are, what the heck? Where'd this come from? Who's demanding this? That's the question. So wait, there's no demand for 8, 9, and beyond abortions from women. Nobody's out there going, we ain't got enough time. So that means a small group of evil people found a reason to be able to push it to that point. I don't know what the benefit is. I don't know if they need the baby to be along a certain point where they need to, use some, the parks and all of that. I don't know why anybody would even say, well, aside from the mother is dying and it's going to be between the mother and the child. Aside from something like that, what legitimate reason? When they brought this to the public, I was hearing things like the mother is mentally stressed out and she realizes at the last second that she don't want to do this. So therefore, it's like, well, okay, well, now let's think about it. Let's take I was hearing flimsy excuses and reasons like that. And when you stuck a mic in Democrats' faces, well, I don't know when that's not up for me to determine. It's up to the mother and the doctor. Nobody was able to come out and just say 4 months, 3 months. Nobody was able to do it, including Chameleon Harris. I still got a video that I did on her when the lady kept asking her, what is too late? What's too, I'm not even going to entertain this because, this is stupid. All you got to do, if it's so stupid, just say 4 months, 3 months, 5 months, whatever. She wouldn't do it. So we didn't make this up. They act as if the stuff that we recognize is going on in our country, we just woke up and say, you know what, I think I'm going to go down to the school board and start fussing about the books that these people are allowing our kids to read. You think conservatives got time to be doing stuff like that? We react to all of these cultural immorality that they're trying to push, all this cultural immorality they're trying to push into our society. That's all we do. We're sitting there minding our business. You get home and what is that you got there, son? After I've been working in the coal mine, that's that book from school. It's about these 2 little boys who had went off to camp, and the one boy was looking at the other boy, and he had said that I think I did. And you going, what the crap is? Hey, hold up, you got this from school? Nah, I got to go down to the school. They do these things and then get mad when, society vomits it back up on them, regurgitates it. Oh, well, you guys aren't open-minded. Yeah, you're.
Help the baby live. And if there's anybody in here, I have to say this, who have had an abortion and the Lord has forgiven you, walk in your forgiveness. Don't get uncomfortable. Don't feel the need to leave. Don't think that you can't say amen. Don't do that, because that's not the point. We're trying to save the next baby.
And that's a balanced preacher. That's a balanced church. Because oftentimes people can get bogged down with guilt and feel like, man, I can't be a voice for this now because I'm a person who did this in the past or whatever. But that's what grace, mercy, and forgiveness is all about. We ain't trying to hate on nobody. That's why when people even become conservatives after being a serious liberal, this is a natural application for what he's talking about. There are a lot of folks out there that, like Amber, whatever her name was. Now, she's in the baby infant stage of adopting, conservative principles. You don't want to kill her in the infant stage just because she ain't been a hardcore conservative for the last 20 years. She's just getting her feet wet. She's just now starting to recognize that they've been lying about Trump this whole time. And you don't want to just say, well, you shut your mouth. You haven't been over long enough to let her enjoy these moments. Let her get her feet wet, welcome her in, and see her grow. Same thing in the church. You don't want to come in and stop people. You shut your mouth. You're not allowed to get up and say amen because you once stole something or you once That's the whole point of the church. You go in to get cleaned up so you don't have to feel the guilt of the past. So he's letting folks know, even if it applies to you in the past, This ain't no time to be talking about, well, let me put my head down and go, woe is me. We got to look towards the future.
And I want you to think about these things, because there are very few places you can go where the preacher talks about it at all.
Yeah.
And that's why so many get uncomfortable when they visit us and we talk about it, because we know Red around the corner ain't gonna bring it up.
Yeah. Certain church ain't gonna bring it. If I ever go to South Carolina, I'm going to that dude's church. I'm gonna be popping up in there like, dude, you a Metamucil. Man, you's a Metamucil.
Street around the corner down the way, except to say something as stupid as, I'm for women's reproductive rights. What?
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, pastor. Because see, we be hearing that all the time. He's talking about some pastors that done sold out. Talking about, well, I mean, I ain't going to even weigh in on it because yeah, I'm for women's reproductive rights. We all know what that is. We all know about word switching, definition switching, trying to make things look like they're not what they are. Yeah, women's reproductive right. What is that, pastor?
Who's really for women's reproductive rights are people who are against abortion, because there's no reproduction in abortion.
You know what? That's just very logical. Never thought of that. I was talking about reproductive rights. What are you talking about? When you talk about reproductive rights, we all know what they mean. Abortion. Yeah, because right now, every woman got the right to reproduce. What's the problem? It seems as if they're making something a problem that wasn't a problem. Because it ain't about reproducing, the right to reproduce. It's the right to stop reproduction. That's what they really are saying. And yet they try to package it up. Just like when it talks about kids going into their transitions and stuff like that. That right there is just child affirming care. There it is. Just like when they're bringing in precious illegal immigrants over here. They're not precious illegal immigrants. No, those are undocumented citizens. They're migrants. There you go. That's all they are.
There's no reproduction in abortion. If you know what abortion is, there's no reproduction. Anytime they have to lie to you about a thing to get you to vote for it, it's a pretty good sign that you don't need it.
Thank you. And people don't see that. People don't see that these Democrats, these radicals, will repackage things. They'll lie to you and say, that's not what it means. That's not what we're saying. They will hide certain stuff from you. Anytime they got to do that. Why you got to do that? Just come out and say, man, I'm talking about abortion. Let me make the decision. But see, they know if they give you the 100% truth, then it can't be like the devil. Mixing lies in with truth. Yeah. They're learning from the best. Hey, you know Diablos. You know about him. Garden of Eden. Hey, yeah, come here, Eve. Let me holler at you for a minute. What you up to? Oh, nothing. I feel you. What you doing? Oh, nothing. Just slithering around. You know, us snakes. That's what we do. Hey, you know what though? What's up with that tree over there, that fruit right there? Why don't you go over there and grab a whatever and take a bite of it? No, I can't do that. God told me not to. Did he? Did he say that? I mean, yeah, he might have said that, but why did he say it though? Huh? I mean, do you think he might be hiding something from you? No, I never thought about that. You didn't? Oh, I don't. Hey, look, you ain't here for me. But word on the street is he got all this stuff going. He got hiding stuff from me. He don't want y'all. You know, I said too much. Let me go on back into under this rock right here. Okay. No, wait. Come here for a minute. You sure you want me to? What's up? That's how the devil works. Democrats mix lies with truth. All of that stuff. We voted for I was willing to vote for a bipartisan bill that would have dealt with the illegal immigration issue. And I'm going, no, you're leaving out stuff. You're leaving out what was in that bill. Yeah, you're leaving out that bill didn't accomplish a lot of stuff. I see them doing these things constantly. Every policy, every statement they come out with, I'm always going, there's always something beneath it. They never really mean what they say. And they never say what they mean. Let's continue.
We're for women's health right issues. What are you talking about? Well, abortion. These people, to show you what they think of African Americans, I'm going to show you what these abortionists and these depopulationist people, the depopulationist people, depopulation, they think that there's too many people, so they're trying to kill people. The depopulationists don't want the world to reach 9 billion, which we're approaching it, so they want to kill people. People they're trying to get rid of are us. Why? Because we're black? No, because we're stupid. See?
Now, I know black folks didn't want to hear that one. See, because remember, guys, this ain't the type of truth a lot of minorities want to hear. They want to hear, because you know what? White supremacy, the white privilege, slavery, Jim Crow. That's what they want to hear. Oppression, systemic racism. That's what they want to hear. No. See, I like it like that right there. Yeah, they're telling you things and doing things to you because they think you're stupid. And that applies to a lot of Americans, period, not just black folks, because there are stupid folks in every culture, every race. That's why they use identity politics to group the stupid together. They're like, okay, anybody that is black, y'all need to believe this. And anybody who strays from it, they're not one of the stupid ones. Anyone who says, man, I'm not buying that, y'all done grouped them all together. They all have stinking thinking. I'm not following the rest of the sheep. I'm going this way. That person right there, is a sellout of Uncle Tom or whatever. And I'm going, no, I'm just not stupid. You're not going to sit back and tell me that we're all victims. You're not going to sit back and tell me this is the best thing for black people. And if you don't believe it, it's kind of like what I talked about on my live stream the other day, where they got signs up there in Chicago saying that black people need to stop being racist towards the illegal immigrants. And then you got black folks up there going, I ain't stupid. Okay. You don't come up here and tell me to stop thinking like this, get back on the plantation, and taking advantage of us. Jump on board with this. Folks are saying, I'm not stupid. You got a lot of folks across the country that's starting to say, I'm not stupid. And they, as Democrats and globalists and all of these Marxists and all of these leftists, they prey on stupid people. They tell people, support Kamala Harris because it's a movement and we're all about joy and happiness. Forget about policies because we hope you're stupid. Let's continue.
In this high stakes game, the vulnerable is the ones who are preyed upon.
And Talk, Bishop. Yeah, that's why they want us stupid. That's why, they rather focus on systemically racist white nationalist cops instead of the education system inside of black neighborhoods. Keep them dudes stupid. That's why they don't say nothing when all those young black adults be jumping on top of cars, dropping down and getting their eagle on, breaking in and stuff. Oh, leave them be. They're young black scholars. They're doing it because of slavery and stuff like that. Leave them be. Let them tear up their own neighborhoods. Long as we keep them folks stupid. Yeah, long as we keep them stupid, I'm cool with that. Long as we can go in there and tell them all of your problems revolve around some mysterious boogeyman that's out there. Gotta be a white man, though. It's a white man. Somehow, I want you to, in your mind, you gotta imagine it's a white man. Okay? A white man out there. But it ain't one of us white people. It's not one of us white people. That shows how belittling it is. They will get up there and tell you white supremacy. They'll get up there and say, you know what, white privilege, but not us. We ain't got the white privilege. That other white person over there got it. They got it. And folks go, yeah. And I'm going, dude, that says a lot about how they view you. When you can sit back and be white, look a black person in the eye and tell them white privilege is a thing, but don't judge me based on that. Judge that person. That shows that you're going, man, this person's dumb enough where I can pull this off. And they go, yeah, hey, man, come here for a minute. And you go, I can't believe I got out of that. I can't believe I got out of that. It burns me up. It always is a testimony to how they view you based on how they approach you, what they say to you, what they think they can pull off. It lets you know, it should let you know that, man, they think I'm stupid. That's why people should get mad when they realize they believed all of the lies of the Democrats. When people get off that plantation, when people get red pill, they get mad. They be sitting back like, man, I can't even believe they had me like that. I'm sitting there running around talking about some dang on Russia collusion for 2 years, only to find out it was Hillary Clinton. Let's continue.
They tell you things, they tell us things that speak to their opinion of our intelligence.
Yeah.
Anytime you can tell a race of people that it is healthier for a black woman to have an abortion than to give birth, that tells you right there what they think of your intelligence.
Why?
They
Why,
wouldn't
Bishop?
dare try to tell an Asian woman that. They wouldn't tell a white woman that. They won't tell a Hispanic woman that. But they tell black folk that.
There you for all of the minorities out there, send this to them. All of the brothers that you might know, this man, I'm voting for Kamala, that all the yeah, they need to hear stuff like this. But they'll call this guy a sellout. They'll call this bishop Uncle Tom. Yeah. See, they'll come in here and they'll tell black folks all of this stupid stuff, and yet, when another black person say, they think you're stupid, all of a sudden, what the heck was that? All of a sudden, black folks will get mad at the person telling them. They think you're stupid. They just told you this and you just fell for that? You fell for that? So, you hear that? The bishop had a good point. Say that again. I want to hear that one more time.
They wouldn't tell a white woman that. They won't tell a Hispanic woman that. But they tell black folk that.
Yeah. Why is that? Why won't they tell all of the rest of them those things? Why is it that they don't say, hey, you know what? We need to get rid of voter ID. Because the Asians don't know where to go and get IDs. They're riding around like, where do I go? I don't know where to go and find out how to get an ID. Yeah, why don't they say that? Why don't they say, you know what? The Jews don't know how to get on the internet and find out where to go get a COVID shot. Why don't they say that? Hey, this is what they think of you. Many people, unbelievable. But let's continue because this bishop he's telling it like it is, man. I like this. I like this type of teaching and preaching. Yeah, even if it hurts, even if it cuts.
Well, the numbers show they can make numbers say whatever they want the numbers to say.
That's right, Bishop. But wait a minute, guys. He ain't done. You think he done? I'm about to show y'all another stuff before we get out of here. Because this one, is spicy. You know what he's about to touch on, y'all? D to the E to the I. Ain't gonna expose it, y'all. Now, here we go.
You are living in a world that is seeking to gobble you up. The powers that be, the clash is a short-term clash, and there's a long-term clash.
Somebody said they'd like to see this preacher myself. Yeah, somebody said they never weighed in, but yeah, he's great. He's great. I like his teaching and preaching. So y'all hear this? He's setting the groundwork. He's laying it out there saying, look, man, y'all don't realize that every single American walking around right now, they're trying to influence you. And it's all by design. They have captured all of these entities and they're all designed to control. That's why they hated Elon Musk getting hold of Twitter. They don't want any, platform that allows people to combat what they're doing. They got an infrastructure in place designed to do what he's about to talk about.
The long term, they're patient, and they've done a great job infiltrating our schools, our institutions of learning, entertainment, publishing, churches, seminars, all these things.
Look at that. So they've been working in the backdrop for years. Like, okay, to really put in a network, to have these people walking around zombified, we got to create a matrix. And to do that, we got to control all of the organizations and platforms that people take in, I'm about to read a book, and there's some stuff in there written by some Marxists, and you go, hey, that's interesting. That's a different idea of concept. I'm about to go to college. Great, welcome to the campus. White supremacy, white nationalism, and imperialism. Oh, yeah, I'm about to turn on TV. Drop down and get your booty on down, that booty, shake that booty. Come on now, say get that booty. Yeah, all of this stuff is designed to influence the mind and bring down our culture. You think China is letting all that stuff come into China? You think they're allowing their folks to become demoralized? You think they're allowing all of their people in China that's on TikTok to be supporting transgender and the kids? That this is my two moms. You think they're allowing that? They know that this garbage weakens a country, weakens a society. So they just feed it to us, allow us to go ahead and do it. But they're like, but not for you guys, because we see what it's doing to them. Yeah, we see what it's doing to them. So all of these things are influencing folks, but Bishop, go deeper.
To influence you. You are the target. And you're also the target of the Holiness Church and the target of Jesus Christ. When I tell people that everybody's trying to sell you something, I always include me because I am too.
Yeah. So in other words, he's combating what they're pushing. That's why he talks about politics in the church, because he knows it's trying to infiltrate the church. So he's combating it. And as a Christian, you do spread the gospel. As a conservative, we used to didn't have to feel like we got to go out and evangelize to liberals. Used to didn't feel like that until they went off the chain and became crazy. There was a time where you didn't feel like you had to open up a YouTube channel and expose why having kids read books and story time about this and that is wrong. There was a time you didn't have to talk about that until the left went so left that you go, man, I can't sit back and just watch this. Dude, you see what they're trying to do to you? Then you got to start evangelizing as just a citizen, as a conservative. I'm trying to go ahead and bring some liberals over here. At this point, this right now is becoming such a movement. It's becoming dangerous to my own personal beliefs, morals, and the whole country. So now you have a lot of conservatives that see that it's no longer live and let live. The left have become aggressive. And they're no longer trying to just pretend they just want to be like we call those people hippies. Live and let live, man. It's all about love. They're like, nah, we don't want to just be able to say, well, I got a man in my life and I'm a man and we wanted this and that. We want marriage. We want the title. We don't just want a civil union. We want marriage. Oh, thanks. Now we got that. Now we want to go into church and make preachers do it. It's no longer just, we just want a little bit. We're going to shove all of this stuff down everybody's throats in society and change the whole culture, change society, which caused a rift in our country. Made all of us to go, dude, first of all, we ain't out there hunting down folks that got alternative lifestyles. We ain't out there trying to hate. We're not racist. We're not none of these things. But you're using these things to influence the rest of us and to make us accept it and to bully us into this and to make us compromise either our moral code or our religious code. And we don't like it. Now we got us a problem in the U.S. Let's continue.
There is something that I'm trying to get you to see. There is something that I want you to know. I want you to follow Jesus. I want you to live holy. I want you to live right. I want you to be hardworking. I want you to be decent.
Wait a minute. You don't want them to be mad for nothing? You don't want them to be victims? You don't want them to wake up talking about, man, I would get a job, but the man won't give me nothing, man. I'm saying, why even try when they ain't gonna let you succeed anyway? You don't want them to be oppositional, defiant, pastor? You don't want them to be angry when a cop pull them over like the cheetah Tyreek? Man, do what you gotta do, bruh. Do what you gotta do. Man, bruh, don't be banging on my window like that, bruh. Don't tell me what to do. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait. Hold on, man. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Yeah, you telling me you ain't telling them to do that, Bishop? What else?
I want you to be convinced of certain truths that God didn't make a mistake when he put your spirit in your body.
What? Now, you know right now, if he was up on the Capitol and he said that, every Democrat would get uncomfortable. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to what he's about to be talking about. Because you'll have a lot of folks out there that are minorities who will jump on the bandwagon when it comes down to race and stuff like that. But then when these folks start saying, and oh, by the way, little boys, little girls thinking and all that stuff and this and that, a lot of black folks go, oh, wait a minute. A lot of Latinos, a lot of Americans go, oh, wait a minute. And you'll start to see that these Democrats believe in craziness. And I have a simple litmus test when it comes down to measuring a American citizen's political IQ. Would you vote for a person who don't know the difference between a man and a woman? And if you say, well, that depends. That's yes, I would if they, I go, okay, you failed. Go over into that area right there. Go over there, sit. We'll talk to you in a minute. Simple stuff, man. So now he's saying this is simple stuff. God didn't make a mistake when he made you.
You are whom the Lord made you. There's not a girl standing here who is actually a boy.
Oh, they would take his 50C31 status immediately. If the Congress brought him up there to say stuff like this, Even a black pastor like he is, those Democrats would sit across from him and start attacking him and calling him, this guy right here is obviously an Uncle Tom. This guy right here is obvious. They would send out all the black folks on the Democrat side to call him all kind of names. And then slide in white liberals. They would attack the heck out of this dude. But you bring Raphael Nordock, the warlock I call him, Raphael Wardock, that Christian pastor over in the house with that big boxing glove sitting on the front of his face that talks about God allows abortion and God's okay with this. They love that. They love that stuff. And by the way, can we come and, campaign in your church and influence your black folks? Can we do that too? Absolutely. Yeah, they're cool with that. But let somebody come up there and start saying this in Congress.
That's not a boy standing here who is actually a girl. And I have something else to tell you.
What?
There's not a girl standing here who can turn herself into a boy.
Well,
there's not a boy who can turn himself into a girl. And anybody who tells you any different is a liar, including your own mind.
Bingo! That's what I'm talking about. So you got to stand flat-footed when it comes down to this left ideology. Talking about this and that, and you're going, there is no way in the world I can believe that. I don't care if y'all try to shame me into, just the outer zones of whatever. I'm not going to sit back and say, well, you never know. I can't do that. I'm not going to surrender my kids over to this. I'm not going to say, well, there's some things you just got to take a stance on. And they can't stay in that mess. That's why they're gunning after all of them. And the biggest enemy is usually you. Stinking thinking. Your mind, when your mind start telling you, well, maybe, I'm going, that immediate, rebuke that, y'all. I rebuke that. Stinking thinking. Well, you know what? Maybe having an open border is like, we do have to be careful. No. Rebuke that. Rebuke it immediately. So he's saying, even if you're trying to convince yourself that some of this stuff is okay, call your own self a liar. No, that ain't good. That's not a good thought right there. I rebuke my own self.
Any professor, see, we send them to school and we tell them to trust these people, but these people now are evil. And we drop them off for 8 hours into these humanistic institutions.
Ooh, for indoctrination. Boy, I tell you, man, we need to straight up open up like a conservative school. Just straight up, all right, look here. These are the school of patriotism. We got patriotic schools. We teach that communism is actually wrong. We teach that the fascism, Marxism, all that stuff doesn't work. We teaching that actual boys are boys, girls are girls. We don't allow your kids to come in here talking about some, I'm two-spirited, but don't tell my mom and stuff, okay? I want to get a transition. Could you help me out? Could you get me up to Minnesota? Could you go ahead and smuggle me to Minnesota where that's a refuge? Yeah, I'm trying to get to Minnesota so I can become a girl. Well, I'm telling your parent, because you're in the school of conservatism and common sense. Instead of, okay, meet me after school, that type of stuff. So those kids got to negotiate and navigate that. I'd be scared to death if I had a kid to send to public schools right about now. I'm telling you, man, I would go ahead and be sitting in the classroom with them the whole time. Like, I'll go ahead and teach, man. Okay, well, I feel a little uncomfortable. You've been here now for 3 weeks. I know. And I'm going to continue being here every single day. I'm traveling with them. I'm a support parent. That's right. I'm a support parent. There it is. Just in case you get off the chain.
AKA public school system, filled with an indoctrination that they work 5 days a week to undo what we try to do in a few hours on Sunday. They go there and 5 days a week they will tell them there's no such thing as creation. They will teach Darwinism, not that God made man, but man evolved.
And that's exactly what they would love to think, for the simple fact it allows them to justify that a man could be whatever, a girl could be whatever, and this and this and that. It allows them to remove God from your conscience, and therefore you can simply say, well, I'm just making it up. It puts right and wrong in the hands of every individual. And Democrats and radical leftists love that. That's why you got all these people who think they're privileged and they're all victims, and they deserve to stop traffic. They deserve to, have folks be scared to say, oh, are you a ma'am or a sir, and this and this and that. Yeah, there's no right and wrong. I was joking a couple months back. I'm like, you know what? There used to be a time where if you did think you was a man or a woman, you kept that to yourself. Yeah, you knew as soon as you would come out with that, folks would either laugh you back in to being quiet or shame you back into it. Okay. But now they're trying to shame everybody who says, dude, you're not a girl, you're a boy. You know what? Let me get my camera out. What did you just call me? And we got to get back to a point where these folks are scared to do that. Where they're going, man, I don't care what I believe personally. I ain't going to come out and say that, man. I'm saying there used to be a time where folks might go, I want to get my hands on the kids. It'd be great if the kids know about this. But if I say that, everybody's going to go, what did you just say? This guy right here wants to get in there and talk to kids about it. So they kept it quiet. Now all of a sudden, through all of the support coming in from leaders and all of these the society elements that have been put in place, like he was just talking, now all of a sudden, these are the folks that's out there going, we need to talk to the kids about this, and then if you don't like it, we got to get back to the point where they're going, man, I don't want to say this as a psychiatrist. And they're going to shame me. They all the kids would be gone. I wouldn't have one patient if they found out that I'm okay with, like they said, little boys having tampons. Everybody. Well, I got to keep that to myself. We got to get back to that point where the craziness needs to be kept to themselves. Let's continue.
That's undoing what we've taught. And they were teaching them about a Big Bang theory. And now they're teaching our kids to do things. And parents, I'm getting ready to pray. You are adding to the confusion. You're adding to it. Some of you don't know that you are. But your kids have looked at you and watched you like they did today when you said amen to all the things I just said.
Now, this right here is going to apply to so many folks, and not just Christians. I'm talking just people who are, for some reason, supporting the Democrat Party. Supporting the Democrat Party. And yet, you're trying to separate some of the craziest ideology and stuff like that comes out of that party from the party. Hard-working guy, come home, got him, 40 little pool, got him some beer sitting around. And his kids out that day, I was in school and they had told me that we was having drag queens. But what the hell? You know what? I called out at school, this and that, but I'm voting for Kamala Harris. Boy can't turn himself to a girl, girl can't turn himself to a boy, blah, blah, all that. They watch you say amen to all of that. And then they sit there and they watch you and they hear you push political candidates who believe all of that. Now, they don't even know which you is you. Bam! Oh, that is so true. Yeah. Hey, you sit back, get mad at the drag queen story time, get mad and talking about, man, I don't believe in kids. Well, you get mad because you at a track meet and your little girl gets smoked because the little boy is running, but yet you go right out there and vote for Joe Biden. Yeah, talking to your daughter, sweetie, that's a shame what happened to you. I can't even believe that happened. You know what, man? Something need to be done about this. Now I'm going to go ahead because I'm with her. I'm with Kamala. I'm with her. Who believes in that mess? See? Get mad when you get the phone call talking about wait a minute, I got to come pick my kids up. For what? Or illegal immigrants are being put into the school building. Well, how long are they going to be at home? Don't worry about that. Racism. Okay, I guess. Get there mad, complaining. Hey, man, what's this, man? Why my kids got to go home? These people coming, they just got here, this and this and that. But I'm with her. But I'm with him. Joe Biden is my guy. And I'm going, but you're mad at their policies, the fallout of their policies, all of that. Yeah, folks sitting around talking about, man, you hear what's going on around the world, man. They talking, did you see that dude get in the ring with that girl, beat her up? That's crazy, man. I don't support none of that garbage, but I do support Joe Biden, who supports that garbage. I do support Kamala Harris, who supports that garbage. You can't be doing that. Your kids will be looking at you like, what the? Well, so you just got mad because I got beat by that guy, but all the Democrats will call you a transphobe if you say that guy shouldn't have been in there beating me. And I know I'm talking. Dang on it. Let's get
Which
to
way
it.
do you go? Because in church, you say amen to what Bishop wouldn't say. But away from the church, you're boasting on politicians who believe in putting tampons in the boys' bathroom.
Oh, that's why he's base. He went there, y'all. He brought up, and you know who he's talking about. He ain't got to say the name. We all know who he is. Tampon Tim, TT, baby. We all know. TT. Yeah. So, you know, he's like, I ain't even got to say their names because I don't want the IRS to do. I said the IRS to do. Showing up at my crib again. Like they did when I went ahead and called Kamala Harris out. So I'll just describe the situation and you guys fill in the blanks. We all know who you talking about, Bishop. Tampon Tim.
Y'all didn't see that coming, did you?
No,
you
they
say
didn't.
amen in church, but you are saying, I'm with this person, and this individual is espoused, is for same-sex marriage, is for abortion all the way up to the time of birth, is for transgenderism, is for drag queen story time. Well, I just want to see someone who looked like me in office. How bad do you need to see somebody who look like you? Don't you know what you look like?
Oh, the bishop's on fire now. I'm going over to the organ because he's bringing it home. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. I'm loving it. All of this crap that these Democrats are for and pushing, but so many folks, and I ain't talking about just Christians, but so many Americans who don't support any of that stupidity will overlook that and still go out there and vote for them for some of the stupidest reasons, some of the dumbest things. You know, you'll take one issue, racism, and overlook all that stuff he just said. And that's why I say you ain't even got to be a Christian to say amen to that. I mean, if you show up and your kid's sitting there listening to the transgender on the bus goes round and round. I came early to pick my son up for lunch and sitting there, there was a transgender on a bus going round and round in the classroom. Did we get a note or something sent home? No. And he's talking about if you like transgender, if you're transgender, raise your hand. If you want to be transgender. And I'm sitting here and I run up on that. Then I watched a hearing in Congress and all the Democrats were like, these people who are trying to shut down this because they're racist and they hate transgender. And you know what? It's good that the kids. Why would I go out and vote for those idiots? The reason the transgender on a bus is in the classroom feeling confident is because of those people up there saying, you're doing well, great, we got you covered. We won't let nobody say nothing to you. In fact, we'll use our platform to go out and demonize anybody who feels that the transgender on the bus going round and round is not good for the kids. That's what we'll do. And that's why everybody's going crazy. That's why. Because you got people legislating it and backing that mess up. So, boy, this bishop's going to get in trouble. I'm loving what he's hearing.
Y'all to want to see, I don't care who you're with, you ought to want to pay attention to one thing. One thing.
What?
One thing. One thing. The Lord showed me this. One thing. And that is, no matter who it is, just ask them one thing. What are you for?
Right.
I don't care about color. I don't care about race. I don't care about gender. I want to know, what are you for?
Yeah, because if you're for the transgender on the bus going round and round, I got a problem with that. If you up here trying to tell us that the Republicans want to, take books out of school and don't want to teach history, and you're not telling me all the truth, you're not telling me, no, they want to take books out of school, this promoting little boys and little girls doing stuff they, you shouldn't be talking about at school. Then I'm going, why you got to hide that from me? Why you got to try to manipulate me and say they don't want the kids to be reading books because of racism or homophobia or xenophobia? Why you got to lie and manipulate me? Why you got to say, down there in Florida, they got a don't say gay bill? Why can't you tell me all of the truth? Why can't you put that in context? Why can't you tell me why they really have a problem with this? See, because when I find out what's hidden in that, now I feel like you're the one that's deceiving me. They're not upset because kids shouldn't be reading books. They're not upset because of, you know what, they're trying to hide black history. They're upset because when I come in the classroom, you're telling my little white son that he's responsible for all of the atrocities, all of the, discrimination, oppression of all of the black kids. And you're telling all of the black kids that those white kids are responsible for this, and you'll never be done because of those white kids and their white privilege. That's why we don't want you teaching that mess. D to the E to the I. Boy, I tell you, both of us, man, we're tag team. I'm with you, Bishop. Let's continue.
The Lord showed me that the devil came up with an ingenious way to get the black church to accept Antichrist doctrine.
Oh, shoot, he's crafty. You know Diablos is crafty. If he can't get in one way, he's like, all right, let me switch it up. Let me see if it's a back door. All right, okay. Tried this one. They hit me with the stiff arm. Now let me go ahead and try to. So let's see then. Here we go, y'all. What did the devil come up with to manipulate the black church?
Anti-Bible doctrine. And it was said that the only church in Raleigh that's going to tell you this today is me. Here, how did the devil get into the black church? 3 letters. D-E-I.
Oh, shoot. How many preachers on Sunday is preaching a massage like that? Yeah, the platform of the radical Marxist left, D to the E to the I. But you can't bring that up because then they get mad at you. Even though it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, until you bring it up and say, hey, are you a DEI hire? You know what? Yeah, you're bringing up race all the time. But yet, they're always talking about. So what you mean DEI? And why is it a problem? In other words, it is wokeness.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. AKA wokeism.
AKA wokeism. Now, this is a pastor right there, man. That man right there is calling out the wokeness. He said, don't bring no wokeness up in the church. That is beautiful. Come on, pastor, talk to me, man. Tell us why DEI don't make no sense, and then use it in an application for Christians to understand why it's stupid.
Diversity. When you accept diversity and you follow it to its logical conclusion, it means that the Christian doctrine is no more of God than the Islamic doctrine or the Buddhist doctrine or any other doctrine, because we're diverse and we believe in more than one God. We see the diverse.
Now, apply that to non-Christians. America is no better than Haiti, than African continent, than Europe. Now, when I say no better, I ain't talking about we're arrogant and thinking. What I'm talking about is there are principles about America, things that we believe, things that our whole society revolves around, that differentiates us from all of the other countries. In fact, that's the draw. Those principles, ideas, cultural values, all this stuff is what draws people to the U.S. But these cultural Marxists, they have to unravel that. They don't want us to have exceptionalism and say, you know what, I'm proud to be an American. You know what you are? You're an imperialistic white nationalist and a homophobe, and you're the patriarchist. They know that we could never succumb to becoming a globalist one world government if we have exceptionalism in our country. So they got to attack the patriotic beliefs and values of American citizens to make us say, we're proud to be an American. How are we going to get America to surrender their sovereignty if they're saying, why should we do that? We're America. Everybody else should want to become an American and assimilate the right way into our country. Well, you do that by indoctrinating people to hate the country, by telling folks thinking that America is different or special makes you some type of whatever. And I'm going, well, send those same people who tell you that and tell them to go move and live in Haiti since it's an S-hole country. Are they doing that? No, because they know it's better over here. That's why. But yet they'll tell you DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Diversity is not limited to just different people. When you follow it to its logical conclusion, it is doing what postmodernism could not do. Postmodernism teaches that all religions are separate paths to the same God. That didn't catch on with us, but diversity is catching on but it's teaching the same thing. But Jesus never changed his word when he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. You can't be diverse when it comes to what religion is right. Equity, the worst thing in the world. No one really believes in equity.
What? Are you kidding me? Kamala Harris does. She just said it. She say it all the time. And equity. And you know what? We have to make sure that we have equal outcome. Well, do you think she believes that, guys? You think what happened when they equally dropped those immigrants off in front of her crib? Did she welcome them in and say, hey, what's mine is yours? Mi casa, su casa? Did she do that? That's what did she include them into her family? You think all these woke folk just talking about you need to have equal outcome? You think they're ready to distribute their salary equally amongst everybody? All right, now I make $350 million. All right, let's see. Let's break that up into how many people in the country? There's about 350 million. So I make 350 million. So everybody gets $1. There it is. I'm going ahead and setting the tone for equity. Take all of my money, everybody gets $1, even though I did the hard work. Even though I worked my way all the way up, accomplished this and this and that. But hey, the guy who decided to sit on the couch playing video games all day, drinking and smoking, making all kind of bad choices, should have the same thing as me. Bull crap. That's what I'm saying. They only can get away with this with dumb people. Folks that sit back and say, I don't even realize that the folks telling me this are never going to surrender their superiority. Yeah, y'all need to wear a mask equally, but not me. Y'all need to get the shot, but not me. Y'all all need to go out and get an electric car and worry about your footprints, your ecological footprints, but not me. I'm gonna jump in this jumbo jet and fly over France. I'm gonna sit back on my yacht while you guys get on a little sailboat. You gotta use the wind. Y'all gotta use the wind to go. But my yacht, it gotta. Folks fall for. That shows you how they think about you. Sitting back telling you this with no mask. That burned me up to this day. I start feeling something when I sit back and I think how stupid people were. I feel bad. Out there in the governor nuisance. I was out eating a $6,000 meal. With my friends, none of us had masks on, and it's not right. It's not right. Forgive me, but put your mask on though while you're forgiving me. Nasty Pelosi, getting her hair done. Good grief. But let's continue, Bishop.
Even those who promote equity don't believe in equity. No. Because if they really believe in equity, then they got to stand down. Equity means equal outcome. Not equality. Not equality in opportunity, but equal outcome. That we all end up in the same place.
In other words, communism, Marxism. All right, everybody gets one car. Everybody gets a small efficiency apartment. Everybody is only allowed 8 loaves of bread a week. Everybody is allowed. Who wants to live like that? But you got dumb Americans that will protest themselves right into that. You got church folks who will sit back and not see what these folks are trying to do because of what he's describing, diversity, equity, and this and that. Because that will allow them to apply that to the church. Because as a Christian, you believe there's something special about being a Christian, or you wouldn't be out there trying to spread the gospel. You would be going, why should I tell everybody about Christianity? It's the same as everything else. So based on their definition of equity, it will infiltrate or impact the church eventually. But at first, up front, it looks like you're dealing with, discrimination against, the poor, the blacks, and all of that stuff. Seems great.
Now, you can't believe that because Jesus didn't teach that. Jesus blessed some 30, some 60, and some 100-fold. As a matter of fact, he didn't bless the man at all who took the 1 talent and buried it.
And he also said the poor shall always be with you. Unfortunately, we're going to have that. Hey, but you don't sit back and say, well, you know what? I worked hard to get this house, but I'm going to give it up and live out there with the poor so we can all be equal. That's stupid.
Didn't bless him at all. He took that man's one and gave it to the man who had 5.
Go on,
Am
Bishop.
I right? Diversity, inclusion. That is an exclusionary aspect to Christianity.
And guess what? There's an exclusionary aspect to the United States. That means we're not an open border country. If you're not an American citizen, you're excluded from getting $150,000 to get a crib. If you're not an American citizen, you're excluded from getting a license, and you're not even an American citizen. You're excluded from being able to vote in our elections. You're excluded from that. You're excluded from Vatican care and community college, like Joe Biden said. You're excluded from getting cell phones and money cards to swipe. But according to the Democrats, you shouldn't think like that. It's all about inclusion, equity, and diversity.
Jesus offers his love to all. That offer is inclusive of all people. But for those who reject that love offer, that rejection causes them to be excluded. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Bible, right? For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. That's Bible, right? That's because the world was already condemned. And whosoever believe on the name of the Son of God shall be saved. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved. He that believeth not shall be condemned. Then he says, and this is the condemnation. That light has come into the world, but men chose darkness rather than light. Because
So he's talking about protocol, a process. So guess what? You want to come into the country? See this? I'm able to see the spiritual application and the worldly application. You want to come into the country? Yeah, you know what you do? You go through a process. You go down there, you sign some papers, you put in a request, you wait, you do what you got to do. You come in, assimilate, learn some things. Yeah, that's how. But according to the Democrats, nah, you ain't got to go through that process. No need. We're not citizens. We're not exclusive. We're inclusive. We don't even need borders. We're just one continent. Everybody should be able to come and go whenever they want, because there's no difference. And that process right there excludes people. We don't want those non-citizens, those illegal immigrants, feeling as if they're not included in receiving benefits in our country. We don't want them feeling that way. We don't want them feeling like they, can't accomplish or get the American dream. We don't want them feeling that way. Therefore, we're going to help them get it. But not you guys, not you Americans. Okay. Yeah. Don't hang on a little longer in your little tent outside. Hang on a little longer out there, veterans. We'll get to you at some point, maybe, but probably not. But we definitely got to get these illegal immigrants in here so they can feel included. And those that say, whoa, we don't, dislike these people, don't they have to come in a certain way? No. Because of equity and inclusion.
because their deeds were evil, and everybody who made that choice was excluded. You can't get included if you reject the truth. The rejection of God's truth excludes you.
So unlike Joe Biden, just like in the church, we understand there are saints and sinners. And then there are saints that sin, but they have been forgiven and they walk in grace and in their forgiveness. You know, just like we got American citizens and illegal immigrants. But guess what? You know, that's like the church not calling sinners, you know, they just call them saints. And they're saints too. They're saints too. I shouldn't have said that. They're saints. Just like Joe Biden. Let's not call them illegals. I shouldn't have said that. They're undocumented citizens. That's what they want in the worldly application. They want us to be able to look at folks that didn't go through the process and not identify them as who they are, what they are, okay? And saying it's not that we don't want you to come in here, but there's a process to get here. It's that simple. You can't just walk up in there and say, I'm an American citizen now, and then go through the process, and then I just accept that. Are you an American citizen? No different than me. No different than me. Because if I say, hey, whoa, buddy, you got to go through certain things to become an American citizen, then I'm a racist. Yeah. What good is it to be an American citizen if everybody's an American citizen. But Democrats don't think like that. And stupid Americans don't think like that either when they support Democrat policies like that. Let's continue.
Now these woke people want to have a new style of church. Church where you don't have to change. You ain't got to get saved. You don't have to stop cussing. You ain't got to come out of anything. You can be a Mason, an Eastern Star. You can pledge to anyone you want to. You can still go to the club. You can still drink. You can get with anybody's wife, anybody's husband, and cheap grace, and you can do it all.
And these woke politicians, see, they don't want anybody to have to come in here and go through anything. They ain't got to assimilate. They can come in here and eat chickens, ducks. They can snatch up cats. They can come in here and start gangs and stuff. They can take over areas. They can come up in this bad boy and be riding around on their scooters, robbing Americans. These woke politicians want them to come up here and pretty much do whatever they want. There you go. Yeah. Don't have to assimilate. Don't have to pay a price. Don't have to sacrifice. Just come on in and have access to everything. And don't need to change. Don't need to assimilate. Don't need to try to learn the language. Just live like you're still in Haiti. Live like you're still in Guatemala. Yeah. But yet receive all of the benefits of being an American. You see how I'm giving you a parallel? See how I'm giving you a parallel application? We're about 13 seconds away from being done. All right, y'all didn't know y'all was coming in here for church tonight. And this one of them live streams that I wish would go viral. Dang on it. But right now it looks like I'm being suppressed. But nonetheless, let's continue as we end.
And people wonder why those churches grow so fast. Well, there's no standards.
Yeah, and people wonder why these cities are flooded and the population just grew so fast. Because there's no standards. Yeah, there's no process. Folks just came straight in. There's no obstacle to stop them. See, people, when they realize, whoa, this ain't going to be an easy journey, you separate the men from the boys. There it is. You make them go, is it really worth it, man? I ain't going to try. If it ain't in my heart, if I ain't really committed, I ain't going to go through all of this. That's how you know somebody really wants to be an American citizen. When they go through the process. And they say, man, I'm here and I'm thankful. Glad to be an American, man. Yeah, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, I'm loyal, man. Shoot, I went through the process. Versus somebody, I just came across the border. Joe Biden told me to use this app. I called. And you wonder why those cities just grow overnight. You wonder why Springfield have all of those people. They didn't have to work to get here. Just brought here. Came right on in. You wonder why they're not trying to assimilate. And they're sitting back like, why should we change? If anything, we're coming here to change you guys. But Democrats, wokeness, DEI, infiltration, watered down the United States, just like they're trying to water down the church.
That's Gnosticism. Be careful, parents, who you cheer, who you're for. Be careful when you start to walk in duplicity in front of your children. You can't tell children one thing and do another. You can't do it. You can't do it. They're coming after our boys and they're coming after our girls. It's an awesome spirit of perversion and confusion has been released. The devil is a liar. You ain't confused. You've been taught right. Do what you've been told.
There you go. You ain't confused. You've been taught right. Do what you've been told. And he is telling the truth. You can't be sitting up here talking about, man, I can't believe all these people coming into our neighborhoods and this and that. And look at this, man. And yet you are supporting Kamala Harris. You're supporting the Democrats. You're supporting their policies. You can't do it. If all of those people up there in Chicago, this mad, end up voting for the next Democrat they throw up in their face that mentions some racism, you get what you deserve. And if all the folks in New York talking about, man, we're overcrowded, where'd all these people come? They're in the streets, they're everywhere. They're in our schools, they're taking up all our resources, and you go out there and you vote for Hochul, you vote for Peanut Head, Eric Adams, you get what you deserve. It's that simple. You got to get to the point where you say, yo, man, I'm not going to be whining to my kid about, I can't believe they made you come on. Why you got to learn Spanish? You an American. Maybe they should be learning English. But I'm with her. You can't be doing it. And then you can't be mad when they talk about, well, why they up here teaching this ideology in the schools? Shouldn't they be just sticking with the whatever? This pastor just said they're coming after the kids. Who do you think's green lightning? Huh? Hey, you think these schools are just winging it, doing it on their own with no backup? They're doing it with confidence because they know politicians are okay with it and greenlit it. Just like Chameleon Harris got up there lying with confidence the other day during that debate because she knew that the moderators in the network greenlit it. She knew that they ain't gonna say nothing because they cool with it. So I'm gonna drop all these lies. Speaking of which, y'all, did y'all hear somebody supposed to be coming out and whistleblowing on her? I don't know, talking about maybe she might have got the question. We'll see how that all pan out.
You go to school, I'm still praying for you. I'm praying that you would just be a man. Be comfortable in your own skin.
Thank you. Well done, well said, Bishop. Yes, just in case you don't make it to church on Sunday, you got a little bit of it tonight. Be who you are, be your own self. And yes, he's right. They're coming after the kids, but they're not just coming after the kids. They're coming after all of us. They're coming after Americans that are pushing back against this invasion and attack on our culture. That's what it is, man. The ideology is the invasion. These new, ideas are the invasion. They're trying to, it starts with the mind. They want to invade the mind first, because then that opens up the door for the behavior to follow afterwards. So it's getting us convinced that these policies, these changes in culture, these ideologies are legit, getting us to accept it, tolerate it, or to keep us silent or indifferent. That's the thing. And every time we get on the internets and speak out against it, yeah, we're a problem for them. Every time we share our ideas with others and make them go, yeah, you got a point, we're a problem for them. And we're starting to see that we're a problem for them based on their reaction. They're not able to run the board when it comes down to pushing this into our society overnight. Too many people are pushing back, so they got to use dirty tactics. Yeah, they got to use the government, politicians, legislation, all of these things, censorship, all of this stuff, because folks are saying, we're not going easy and quietly into the night. We're not going to sit back and go, we should celebrate that young man who just beat all the girls and broke several records in the girls' 400-yard dash. Let's celebrate that. No, never happened. I'm going to be the guy sitting there like, that was bull crap. I can't believe y'all clapping for this. Let's be honest. None of y'all are really excited. Now, no, not even you. Right, Dad? And be honest with you, man, I ain't excited. I can't even believe my son got out there and did. I told him to. If people kept it real. Like me. Now, God bless y'all. God bless America. Thank you. Somebody said this wonderful posting. Yeah, I didn't know how this one was going to go, y'all. I mean, I've been toying around with it for a couple of days, but, I thank God that he allowed this to be, palatable for everybody. I think whether you're Christian or not, you should have been able to get something out of tonight's live stream because there's applications to cross over that you ain't even got to be a Christian to say, amen. Am I right? Amen. Now, thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget, on the way out, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on other social media platforms. If you want to give a donation, you want to give an offering, you can. I got CASHAPP. So I got CASHAPP. I got PayPal links if you guys want to support the channel. And also, don't forget to check out my merch store. I got some new stuff coming out, y'all. I saw some designs last night that I like. I'm appreciating. So, yeah, I'll be sharing those as well. Other than that, let's go ahead and get out of here. Enjoy your weekend. And I'm probably going to continue working right after this show is over because I'm still working on releasing my in-depth analysis of that Raggedy debate that took place the other day. So keep your ear out for that. And the way you can always make sure is to have your notification button turned on. All right. God bless. God bless America. We'll see y'all next time. This is all city. I know you see the apes. I know you see where we tear up the place. Yeah. Take care.